Okay guys, so welcome back. Today I'm going to talk to you about a potential strategy. This strategy is specifically for those who have implants. That means you have implants in your body, you are being monitored, you're being tracked, you're being trafficked, violated, and sold. Let me stress this again. It is for those who have implants. Now, the strategy may work for people who are being assaulted with energy weapons, okay? But it's mainly a strategy for those who have biomedical implants inside of them. And the strategy which I am going to detail, okay, is a, what I'm attempting to do is I'm attempting to show you why human rights laws are being violated and why they are allowed to get away with it. In my research, I made a discovery. The reason why when you apply human rights laws to these laws, the reason why the police are not helping you, the psychiatrists are not helping you, government agencies are not helping you, we may have been going about this the wrong way. By that I mean we look at this from a constitutional perspective, we look at this from a medical malpractice perspective, which it is. We look at this as a, what's the word I'm looking for? Hold on. Okay, because I'm not sure what the light looks like. What's the lighting? We look at this from a human rights perspective. But when I began to research about patents and how patents and patent laws under the US Patent and Trademark Office, it states very clearly that you cannot patent a biological. And a biological would be anything that is found naturally in nature. The reason why you cannot patent a biological is because you are not the creator. But what is curious about this law is that if there are alterations made to a biological, then it can be patented. Think about what I'm telling you. You are a biological. Without implants, you are a biological, meaning something else created you. You were not born with implants inside of you. Therefore, implants are not naturally in the body. You, being born without implants, are considered a biological which cannot be patented. However, if someone puts a biomedical device inside of you, the law changes. Think about what I'm telling you. Without implants, you have human rights because you are considered a human. When you have implants, which is considered technology in your body, you are no longer considered a biological. You have been altered. Therefore, you are no longer subjected to human rights laws. And this is why for the past 20 years, TIs have been fighting using human rights laws, Nuremberg laws, which are international laws, medical malpractice laws, and they've been getting nowhere. And the key, I think I may have discovered why they're getting nowhere, is because in the minds of these freaks, you are no longer a biological. You have been altered. Therefore, the jurisdiction of human rights law do not apply to you. You now fall under a different kind of law. Now, some will argue, well, there are no laws that governs technotronics, that is, the merging of man and technology. We don't have those laws yet, but what we do have is business law. It's corporate law. And when I began to look in terms of technological trafficking, and I want to make this video very short, when I began to look in terms of technological trafficking and how businesses and corporations are at the helm of this, I realized that the missing link is business law. It's not the way we see it. We see it as a human rights violation. They see it as business. Let me repeat myself. What they did to us is a human rights violation, but they see what they do to us as business. So in this presentation, what I'm attempting to do is to change the narrative of how we can go about this. And I'm not going to spend a long time on this. I give out a lot of information for free. And I do this because I know this program, I understand this program, and I also live with these devices inside of me. When I walk out my door, I'm insulted every day. But I keep on, and I keep on, and I keep on. I am asking you, if you can help me, that will be great. Because I'm giving you information I know other people are not giving you. I am not better than them. I do not put down their hard work, and I will not put down their hard work. But my information comes from me, and if it benefits you, I would appreciate if you would help me. You don't have to, but if you do, I appreciate it. Let's look at what I came up with. Again, I am not putting down anyone else's hard work. That is their hard work. But I think we are going about this the wrong way. We are going about this from how we see them as opposed to how they think. And in order to succeed, we have to understand the minds of these criminals. They look at this as business. We look at this as human rights violations. In order for them to justify their business racketeering and influencing of corrupt organizations, we have to abandon human rights laws and deploy business law. This is the strategy I'm proposing. Technological trafficking strategy. How incorporation may be the key to your freedom. Moving away from human rights laws to business, corporate law, and estate planning laws to gain back your rights. What does it mean to incorporate? Many business owners, this is the link to the article, this is not my work, this is the link to show that this school of thought is not mine and to give credit to the people who came up with this. Incorporate.com. Many business owners consider incorporating their business, but wonder if they truly need to do so. There are several reasons why you should incorporate yourself. Turning your sole proprietorship into a corporation signals to the world that you take your business seriously. Besides protecting you personally from business liability, when you incorporate yourself, you obtain a degree of credibility with your clients. There are just a few of the benefits. These are just a few of the benefits that stem from learning how to incorporate yourself as a business. For example, if you freelance. We're using this as a strategy. Okay? Can you incorporate yourself? Many sole proprietors ask the question, how do I incorporate myself? Or can I incorporate myself if I'm self-employed? This is an example. Often they believe that because they are a one-man or one-woman operation, they may be able to incorporate themselves, or that Their structure may not merit incorporation. Moreover, if you're a business owner, you may wonder why it would benefit your business to incorporate it yourself. The truth is, sole proprietors can incorporate themselves. We're getting to the strategy. So here we see you can incorporate you. We're moving away from human rights law and we're thinking as these criminals think without breaking the law. Better yet, there are a number of benefits to incorporating yourself. These benefits of turning your sole proprietorship into a corporation include greater ease in securing financing from a lender. Many lenders are more comfortable dealing with a corporation as opposed to sole proprietorship due to liability issues. Okay, so this is incorporating from a sole proprietorship, which I did, to an actual corporation. All right. Why incorporation might be the key to ending your technological trafficking. While many business owners realize the benefits of incorporation, they may feel the process is too daunting to tackle, but it does not need to be that way. Many small business owners remain sole proprietorship because they cannot answer the question, how do I incorporate myself? When incorporating yourself, the information and questions concerning what to do and how to do it can be overwhelming and confusing. Learning how to self-incorporate can be a lengthy process which requires specific paperwork and forms to be filed depending on each unique scenario. We're going to overlook that and I'm going to try to use sole proprietorship as a means to do so. Since incorporating is one of the biggest steps a business owner will take, it should always be left to the experts. In this day and age, there's no reason to attempt to incorporate yourself by yourself. Types of incorporations. Okay? A sole proprietorship is one individual, and this is what I did. This is what I did. Okay? A sole proprietorship is one individual and married couple in a business alone. Sole proprietorships are the most common form of business structure. This type of business is simple to form and operate and may enjoy greater flexibility of management, fewer legal controls, and fewer taxes. However, the business owner is personally liable for all debts incurred by the business. Then you go on to general partnership, limited partnership, and LLP, limited liability partnership, and then you have a corporation, right? Then there's a couple more. You have non-profit, you have an LLC, then you have trusts, joint venture, tenants in common, municipality associations. I'm not going to read all of them. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, and I'm not going to take long with this. We're going to look at how you can use a sole proprietorship as a means of controlling, of gaining control of the technology that is inside of you. Okay, that is the strategy. If you're going to become a corporation, if you want to literally incorporate yourself as a corporation, it is a lengthy process and is an expensive process. But a cheaper means of doing that is to become a sole proprietorship. And in a sole proprietorship, you have 100% ownership of your assets. You're going to do that by becoming a brand. It may cost you some money, and I'm going to explain that later. I'm not spending a long time on this video, but you become sole owner of your assets. Your assets as a sole proprietor is your body. This can be done legally because celebrities do it all the time. Celebrities get paid to show up at an event, and they get paid, if they're an A-list celebrity, they get paid $100,000 for their body to be there. You're going to use the same strategy to become sole owner of the implants that are inside of you. I did it. And by proxy, I own these devices. You owe me, people. Okay. So your strategy, okay? You're going to go back and study the types of corporations. That is your homework. That is what you have to do to determine what works for you. Now let me give you a basic strategy. Step one, you become incorporated using one of these that you deem is suitable for you. I chose a sole proprietorship for specific reasons. Step two, this may cost you money, but you can do it if you want. You may not do it if you don't want. Okay, so this is open-ended. If you have the money, I suggest that you do it. Become a brand. Okay, your name, remember in this program you're being trafficked, meaning you're being bought and you're being sold for money. And that money is not going to you. Other people are using a power of attorney and a legal power of attorney to benefit from you. And what you are attempting to do with this strategy is you are attempting to separate the individual from the corporate entity and becoming a corporate entity, and becoming a corporate entity by proxy, gaining the rights to the implants that are inside of you. Becoming a brand. In order to become a brand, you will have to file for a trademark in the patent office. That can range up to a couple $100, or you can get someone to do it for you online. It will cost you. Okay? But in terms of a couple $100 and 20 years trying to use human rights law and getting nowhere in this program, I think it's worth a try. So you will become a brand, okay? Your brand, much the same as a celebrity. A celebrity brands themselves. They get paid tens of thousands of dollars for their body to be present at a certain place because they are sold as a brand. What I am saying is you are going to brand yourself using your name. I suggest you use your name. And the assets of that brand, when you file for the trademark, is your body. Much the same as a celebrity doing the same thing. When you apply for a trademark, there's certain types of trademarks, okay? For example, Coca-Cola has a secret formula, and it allows them to get trademark secrets. Let me repeat that. This might take a little bit of finagling in the law, and you may need to get your audits done in order to do this. When you file for a trademark, because you have technology inside of you, okay, once you incorporate yourself and your body becomes that brand, you by proxy already own the implants inside of you. Okay, I'm just telling you how it works. You already own what is inside of you. Now, what you may want to do in your branding process with the US Trademark Office is the implants inside of you, they have patents, and there's a corporation who owns the implants inside of you, and they may or may not have taken out patents, not just on the implants, but on you in order to make money. What you will attempt to do if you have the money, and this is a step you want to take, is file for trade secrets. And the trade secrets is the information. Remember, one thing about these implants is that they are collecting and data harvesting all your personal biomedical and biometric information. You want to get a trade secret on the information for the implants that are inside of you. And this can only be done if you have the audits and you know who controls and owns what's inside of you. And you can go to, let me show you this. If you think I'm not being honest with you, I'm not going to spend a long time on this video, but I just want this to be quick and straight to the point, so I can I'm not spending more than 30 minutes on this video. So, okay, because I do want to help you, I love helping you, but I also have to be aware that, you know, I have, you know, you also have to be aware that I have a life, I have finances, I have bills, I have things I need to take care of in my life. Okay? But I also understand this program and I want to be able to help you. Okay? Trademark for your body parts. Okay? Trademark for your body parts. Models trademark their assets and they take out insurance on their assets. You can trademark where those implants are. Once you have become incorporated or you're a sole proprietor and your body is your brand, you can then do two things. You can trademark where those implants are, because they not only have implants in your body, they are data mining the information that they receive, and they are using that information to profit them. What you are attempting to do is you are attempting to reverse the profits going to them and make it come to you. Okay? So, how celebrities trademark their body parts to profit them. You can read up about trademarking your signature. For example, this guy's beard is Fear the Beard. That's his beard, that's his signature, and then he makes, this one is his eyebrow, Fear the Brow. He then turns and he has the full rights to market his eyebrow. Michael Jordan is sticking out his tongue, etc., etc. Kim Kardashian is her fake butt, whatever, I don't know, it's a butt. Okay, or her lips. Kylie Jenner, I don't follow these people, it's her fake lips. The woman built a billion-dollar empire on having fake lips, and black women have been running around with these lips and are poor. Use brains, people. Use brains. Thinking the way they think so that it can benefit you. Okay, so that's an example of trademarking your body parts. Okay. If you have the audits done and you can prove implantation, then you will file for the rights to where those implants are. If the implants are in your pelvic area, you can get the trademark. It's called, I mentioned it before, it's called trade secrets. So you don't just want the rights to the implants, you want the information in your trademark to what is being gathered on those devices to become yours. Because by proxy, when you incorporate your body, you own those implants. Okay? Human rights laws cannot help you achieve this. And this is why for 20 years, we have been losing under human rights laws, because they found the loopholes in the law, and they know that by altering the human body, human rights laws go out the window. And they know there are no laws that govern people who are part technology, part human. It's allowing them to get away with it. However, we understand now from their perspective, this is business. So from our perspective, this must be business. For example, if they are in your left eye, trademark your left eye with the technology in it and all the rights, the trade secrets of the technology in your left eye and the technology in your left eye becomes yours. They can't sue you for something they claim is not happening. Get it? How are they going to challenge you when you go to the trademark office and you trademark this device that's inside of you and they're claiming this is not happening? Get it? Brains. Once you have incorporated yourself, you become owner by proxy of the devices inside of you. The reason you want to do this is because you are being traded for money and you are not being compensated. Strategy continue. Your body under branding and trademark and trade secrets become a part of your portfolio. Your portfolio is made up of your assets, okay? And in order for you to do a valuation on your assets, which is your body, you need to have audits done, okay? You need to have the audits done. You need to know who owns the implants inside of you, how much money are they making off of you. We can break these things down. We can do the calculations to determine, let's say it's a university that's doing it. We know that that university biomedical research facility gets 100 million a year. You can do the audits to determine how much you are worth if a research university is the one who's responsible for the implants inside of you. You can then apply a valuation to that area of your body, and you can also apply a valuation to your entire body, because it's not just an implant in your eye that's affecting your eye. It is an implant in your eye that's affecting your whole body. Okay? So you can do a valuation on your body, and that valuation goes into your portfolio. Your portfolio is made up of your assets. Your assets can be two things: hard assets and soft assets. Okay, we understand what those things are. You have to define your assets in writing. Assets can be defined as soft assets. Asset can be defined as hard assets. A soft asset would be an intellectual property if you're an inventor, a creator, etc., etc. These are the kinds of things that they steal from a person when they have implants inside of them. Your mind, your creativity. These are the things that can be stolen when you have implants inside of you. Your hard assets will be your organs. In order for you to place a valuation on your organs, you may need to get something like the E. coli or Stoli life insurance policy audit. And when you have these audits, you're able to say, okay, a $20 million life insurance policy audit was taken out on me, which means my body, if I were to die, is valued at $20 million based upon this life insurance policy. If, for example, you're dealing with a research facility, you can look at the government funding to that research facility. If the audits show that you are a victim of this research facility who is using you for biomedical experimentation, you can do a breakdown of the funding they receive per year, what programs you're in, and you can audit out and show what your valuation is. All of these things can go into your portfolio. You can then take out, this is something you may want to consider. Celebrities do it all the time. You may want to take out insurance on that body part. For example, if you know they have insurance out on you, you may counter their insurance with your insurance. You can insure the part of the body where you have these implants. Again, this is adding value to your assets, which is in this case your body. Okay, people leave their will and testament, and they leave their bodies. There are people who donate their bodies to science all the time, and they leave it in a living will or a living trust. Okay, strategy. Once you have done this, you can then sue all the entities who are in violation of your brand under business and corporate law. Let me give you an example. One law that you can use is you can use RICO, because this is racketeering and it is corrupt. Okay, that is what RICO is for. RICO is for corruption of organizations. You can also apply antitrust laws, because they are literally monopolizing your life, and they're using monopolistic behavior to gain monies illegally off of the trafficking of your body. Okay, so antitrust laws, and you can use antitrust laws in terms of biomedical research. Okay, you can also use, an example is entertainment law. Under the United States, entertainment laws are very clear. An entity or person can be sued for using a person's image without their consent in an exploitative manner. Let me clarify. If you have hidden cameras in your home and you do audits and you find out that these audits go back to, some people I know had audits done and it went back to major television stations like myself, and they are making money off of my image in an exploitative manner, because I never signed any contract with any television station, any radio station, any internet company, and they are making money off of me using my image, and I'm not being paid, I can apply entertainment law and win. Let me show you this. Digital media law, using the name or likeness of another. In most states, you can be sued for using someone else's name, likeness, or other personal attributes without permission for an exploitative purpose. Usually, people run into trouble in this area when they use someone's name or photograph in a commercial setting, such as advertising or other promotional benefits. There are two distinct legal claims that potentially apply to these kinds of unauthorized uses. Invasion of privacy through misappropriation of name or likeness. Likeness means your image. Violation of the right of publicity is the right of a person to control and make money from the commercial use of his or her identity. We see that this program is also violating entertainment law and also digital media law. Okay, so this is a precedent right here. You can read the precedent. Who can sue for unlawful use of name or likeness? Look at this. Only human beings and not corporations or other organizations have the right of publicity and privacy interests that can be invaded by misappropriation of name or likeness. Okay? Thus, only individuals can sue for unlawful use of name or likeness unless a human being has transferred his or her rights to an organization. Thus, only individuals can sue for unlawful use of name or likeness unless the human being has transferred his or her rights to an organization. Note that companies may sue you for trademark infringement and unfair competition if you exploit their brand names for commercial purposes. It's not the way we think that matters. It's the way they think that is causing us misery. And you can go on to read this article. Finally, you may want to consider placing your asset in a trust. Okay? Placing your asset in a revocable trust. People donate their body or their family members' bodies to science all the time. They do that via a will. What you can do, if you so choose, is place your body in a trust that cannot be changed or altered while you are alive. You become the grantor, trustee, beneficiary in a revocable trust. You make the decisions. Let's look at a revocable trust. Use of revocable and irrevocable trust. A living trust is a legal arrangement used in estate planning that provides for the management and distribution of your property when you die. The trust is usually evidenced by a written document called Declaration of Trust or Trust Agreement, whereby one person called the trustor or grantor transfers property to another person called the trustee, who holds the property for the benefit of another person called the beneficiary. The obligation of the trustee is to conserve and protect assets transferred to that trust and to collect income and distribute to accumulated as prescribed in the trust instrument. The typical living trust is revocable and amenable by a grantor during his or her lifetime. Let's move on to something that's really important here. In a typical living trust, hold on. In a typical living trust, as the grantor of the trust, you are treated as the owner, and you are taxed on the income from the trust assets. Generally, as a grantor, the only way you can avoid taxation, so the issue here would just be taxation, whether taxation to the trust or personal taxation. That is not the issue here. The issue here is ownership of, getting back ownership of your rights, filing lawsuits using business and corporate law, where they must be brought to heel using antitrust laws and RICO. That's what it's there for, because you're dealing with all criminal organizations, or monopolistic, which is antitrust. America is not against monopolies. The law is clear that you cannot use monopolistic behavior. And in the case of technological trafficking, what we see is monopolistic behavior. We think this is a human rights issue, but in the minds of these criminals, this is business. So what we have to apply is RICO and antitrust laws. Okay? Generally, as a grantor, the only way you can avoid taxation on the income from the trust is to give up control and benefits of the assets that you assign to the trust. Okay, let's move on from that. There's something here that's really important that I wanted to okay, so this is what I wanted to show you here. During his or her lifetime, the grantor is also the trustee and beneficiary. Okay, during his or her lifetime, the grantor is also trustee and beneficiary. Why is this important? It means that you benefit from the trust. All the rights of the trust go to you, and you are the person who grants, who is the grantor, okay? The trustor or the grantor, the person who transfers the property. So basically, here's what you're doing. Your body becomes the asset that you place in the trust. You are the trustor or grantor. You transfer the property rights, okay, to the trustee. Okay, in a revocable trust, you become the trustee, okay, and you become the beneficiary. So you, on all three stages, you control your body and the monies being made. This would allow you to perform liens against the corporations who are using monopolistic behavior, to violate your brand rights as opposed to your human rights, which they care nothing about, because they don't care about human rights, but they do care when they get hit monetarily. This allows you to hit them with RICO, racketeering and influencing of corrupt organizations, which is what they are essentially doing. That is why we have RICO. This allows you to apply antitrust laws for monopolistic behavior. What they are doing is constituted in the United States as monopolistic behavior. You are being prevented from using your body the way you were designed to use your body, and they are applying monopolistic practices, which is against the United States laws. They are applying monopolistic behaviors to prevent you from entering your own markets and using your body in a way you deem fit. Monopolistic behavior in the United States is against the laws, and antitrust laws are designed to break up monopolies. So you are going to use 3 laws, potentially 3, and you may use more. RICO, antitrust laws, and then you can apply entertainment law as well, because your image and your likeness is being used in a matter that does not financially benefit you, and it is exploitative. Okay, so let's look at monopolistic law, and then I'm done. Antitrust laws. Okay, and monopolistic behavior. The United States antitrust law is a collection of federal and state government laws. So you're going to be covering the whole gamut of business law, okay, that regulates the conduct of and organization of business corporations. Again, this is why I'm telling you the way we're going about this is wrong. We're thinking human rights violation, they're thinking business. Without us breaking the law, we must think in the same criminal mindset that they think of. This is business, bitch. Excuse my language. Generally to promote fair competition for the benefit of consumers. So what you can argue is you can argue that these corporations are violating US antitrust laws by monopolistic behavior. They are preventing you, the sole heir and right, from entering any market you deem fit by encroaching upon those rights using monopolistic behavior in violation of your body with technology to control and dominate you and prevent you from entering markets. It's going to take 500 years to load. Okay. Listen to this. The FTC and the US DOJ, state government and private parties who are sufficiently affected. Private parties. Let me repeat that again. The FTC and the US DOJ, state governments and private parties, you, who are sufficiently affected, may bring all actions in the courts to enforce antitrust laws. The scope of antitrust laws and the degree to which they should interfere in an enterprise's freedom to conduct business or to protect smaller businesses, sole proprietorships, communities and consumers are strongly debated. Okay? These acts first restrict the formation of cartels and prohibit other collusive practices regarded as being in restraint of trade. Second, they restrict the mergers and acquisitions of organizations that could substantially lessen competition. The argument here is that you and their monopolistic behavior against you is restricting you from free trade via the use of your body. We are not using human rights law, we are using corporate and business law, RICO, and antitrust laws. The argument here, because you have to show, in order to show that there is monopolistic behavior being done, your argument is that these devices in your body is limiting your free flow as a business, a sole proprietorship, a brand, by restricting your ability to conduct your business. and you will show that not only are they restricting your ability to conduct your business, you are losing monies, that the funding that should be going to you because you are the owner of the implants is going to a criminal and corrupt organization. Okay, so I want you to think about this. I don't want to speak anymore. The video is long enough. Think about what I'm telling you. Think about this strategy. Replay this video. Think about what I'm telling you. And I hope it helps you.